Walked into the bar in Bethesda. I had a blind date from my friend, my sister, and since I was in between the bad boys, I usually chase who I want to be with. I said, fine, great, and off we went to meet my blind date. And through the bar in a tiny little place in Bethesda. My date was on the job, working in the bar, tending to the customers, and he was okay. Wasn't really my type. He really wasn't that great. But since I had nothing going on, he said, you want to go on a picnic? And I said, why not? Except I kept thinking how I could say I don't want to go because I feel sick. He was tall enough, he was good looking enough, but he wasn't the bad boy that I'm used to. But I was doing a favor for a friend, because in the end, they're the ones that I'll really care about more than men. Well, we sat and talked and we got to know each other a little bit. And out of the corner of my eye, a little wiry guy with a do-rag and a flag in his hand came popping over to change my life with just a wink and a smile. Says, hey, and I'm thinking, who is this? He's cute. Not really my type again. He looked too sweet and innocent, but he pulled up a stool next to me and handed me a flyer and asked me, hey, come on and see my band. We're really, really great. Well, I'm into music, that's obvious, and this kid with curly hair and do-rag looked out of place in this yuppie land in Bethesda, Maryland, where you had to have an IZOD and coat or khakis to even remotely fit into that degenerate group. Well, we began chatting, and we seemed to just click. Everything he said, he was so interesting. And, God, those eyes, he was as cute as he could be. Pure snow, hadn't been damaged. No, his heart hadn't been crushed yet, and I could see it. And that made me want him more. In fact, we got along so well, the next thing we knew, it was last call. And it occurred to me that the poor guy who I made a date with a few hours before was forced to serve us drinks. He was working in the bartender that night, and my poor blind date was now in a blind rage. Now, a little wiry kid with a black do-rag and a couple of his buddies happened to be recording us. only a few minutes for me to start to forget that I had already had a date. In fact, he was serving us drinks at the time, which I'm sure he had already began to think of me with hate. Well, we sat and we talked, and my blind date served those drinks. The difference between him and this wiry little guy was the bartender was all broad, and the skinny guy made me think. Well, last call for alcohol came and went, and the wiry little guy with the do-rag on his head, with some flyer in his hand, he says, I got a gig coming up here next Thursday. Will you be there? Why don't you give me your number and I'll call you? Trust me, it'll be a great thing. Well, I like being the one to control the situation. When it comes to dating, I have a Ph.D. So I told the wiry guy, I said, well, I like you and I want to hear your band because music to me is everything. So I said, I'll be there. I promise I'll be there. And you don't need my number. I don't need yours. If it will happen, it will happen. And we'll let fate decide our future. So, sure enough, it was Wednesday, and I couldn't stop thinking about that guy. He was different. He was not like all the others. He was good. He was a good guy. Well, I'm not used to good guys. I never was. And maybe it was some kind of... You know, I've always had a thing about bad guys. I kept looking for a bad boy who was a genius, and well, that's a rare breed. And unfortunately, after 10 years, I hadn't found any. They were either kind of smart, not good looking, or great looking, and dumb as a rock. So there wasn't much I could do but bounce around like pinball, going from one guy to the next, usually in uniform, a cop or Navy SEAL, Army, Navy, you name it, I've dated. But boy, I really liked the Marines. Something about those guys. Mystery to me. And again, maybe it's because my daddy was also a veteran of the war. But we met 6 months at a time, and suddenly making sure that Kim Jong-il didn't blow us all up with nukes and nuclear things. And when I was born in 1966, I was in California. He was working government. So it was something about Pop when he was so damn smart. We gave him a nickname, Spock. He could tell you anything you ever wanted to know. He was a member of Mensa, a Freemason. One of those guys who always looking for power and status. It says right on my birth certificate, my pop ran a nuclear reactor. Could have been like Homer Simpson, but more like Einstein. See, he wrote textbooks on how to run those things. But he had no sense of emotion, empathy, so we used to call him Spock. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. Maybe, just maybe, without getting too into the psychology of me, I was looking for someone I could change. But that wasn't happening. It never happened. Every single time. The guys were either real bad or real good. And I tended to go for the real bad. I'm always ending up holding back. Guess I'm a glutton for punishment. But here comes this guy. He was different. In the 10 years I had been on my own, after I walked out the door, $20 bill, a mattress with no home. Well, I had made it. I had made it on my own, and I was proud of it. And everything I did, I kept saying, see, Dad, I can do that. The point is that I walked in the door of that bar in Bethesda the next Thursday. I walked in, I did a double take, and I almost fell flat on my face, because I was on crutches at the time. See, I have an illness. It's pretty bad. Well, we'll get to that a little later. Right now, I just wanted to know who was playing American Girl. I told you. I walked into the bar, and the skinny little kid playing a do-rag, singing American Girl. Well, I did a double take, and almost fell flat on my face. The camera was on crutches back then. Well, I sat down, and I was just mesmerized.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome all the way from Rockville.
I walked in the door of that bar, and I just wanted a skinny little kid singing, and I was just mesmerized. Pete on the bass, Flash on the drums. He did everything at the speed of light, apparently. I didn't know that then. And there was, of course, the lead, very good, with his black do-rag, piercing blue eyes, dark curly hair. Boy, could he sing. He sang his own songs, and they were great. There was about D.C. and the corruption of our country and the Democrats that was ruining our state and everything. So finally, at break, he bumped on over, beaming from ear to ear. But his face, all of a sudden, pressed the phone and asked me who's the good-looking guy on my left. See, I wasn't alone when I walked in the door in the barn in Bethesda that night. And as he held his breath with a chuckle, I turned and said, "This is my brother, Danny Stuey. Danny." Well, that was changed from sadness to a heavenly gaze, and again, things just seemed to turn out right. Even though good guys are never my type. It always started with a kiss, always with a kiss, and then it ended with an argument, or maybe someone laid a hand on me, or maybe all of them cheated. But this guy was different. This guy was a good guy, and I had to learn that I was deserving of this unconditional love, for which in all my life I had never felt someone who truly, truly loved me, no matter what. If my model like looks went away the next day, he would still be there. And I know that's true, because what I just told you happened 25 years ago today. So heed this warning, girls. I know the bad boys, they look feeling, because you're rebelling and you're young. But my advice to you is if you want to be happy, take your time and choose a good guy, and you will live forever after happily.